All right, time to dig into this surface miner interview prep. We're going to get you geared up, so to speak. Hard hat, steel-toed boots, and all the insights you need to mine that dream job offer.
You got it. Key skills, what you need to know to really stand out. And we're diving deep into those interview questions you're likely to get.
Now you've got your RoleCatcher guides in hand, right?
Yeah.
Good. One thing it mentions is that surface miners, they're not always on the front lines, not directly pulling out the ore, but they keep the whole operation going. Essential role.
Absolutely. It's logistics. Think of them as the backbone, making sure everything flows, equipment's good to go, the whole 9 yards. So yeah, it's technical. You got to have a good feel for the site. And safety, that's paramount.
Speaking of safety, both the RoleCatcher Career Guide and the Interview Guide hit on that hard. Let's jump right to a question you will get. What safety protocols do you follow on a mine site? Can't stress enough how important this one is.
No kidding. This isn't just rattling off rules they want to see. It's ingrained. That you understand WHY safety is everything in this line of work. Not just that you're aware, but that it's how you operate, period.
So just saying, hard hat, steel-toe boots, vest.
Yeah.
That's not going to cut it.
Nope. PPE is vital, don't get me wrong, but you gotta go deeper. Hazard identification, how you spot trouble before it's trouble, uneven ground, loose rock, the steps you take to handle that.
This is where that spatial awareness comes in, right? Being able to read the site like a book.
100%. You assess, anticipate, and head off those hazards for your own sake and everyone else's.
Now, before we hit another question, gotta ask RoleCatcher's AI, how's that actually HLP with interview prep?
Seems like a fancy buzzword sometimes.
Think of it as an interview coach in your pocket. Seriously. Plug in the job description. The AI breaks it down. What are they looking for? The keywords, the skills that jump out. Then it helps you tailor what you say to hit those points dead on. So it's not just answering the question. It's answering it the way they want to hear it. That's clever. Okay, back to it. Say they throw a curveball. Describe a time you had to troubleshoot a complex issue on a mining operation. That's pretty specific. How do you even approach that?
Those are behavioral questions. They want to see how you solve problems in the real world, not just in theory. The key, have a good story ready, something concrete. When did things go sideways on you and how'd you fix it? Use the STAR method. Situation, task, action, result. It'll keep you on track.
Love the STAR method. Great framework.
It really is. So you set the scene. What was the situation? Your specific task. What actions did you take? And this is crucial. The result. What changed because of you? Downtime avoided, efficiency boosted. Did you learn something new about the equipment, the process itself?
It's proving you can think on your feet, figure things out, and that you learn from experience. All good stuff.
Absolutely. And don't be vague. Specifics matter. The type of equipment, what technical hurdle you cleared, how you did it, that gives you credibility, shows a deeper understanding. They'll pick up on that.
You know, we talked about these human skills earlier, but this is heavy machinery. How do those even factor into the interview?
Great point. Because you're not just running a machine in a vacuum, you're part of a team communicating. Things change on the fly.
So how do you get that across if they don't ask directly?
You weave it in. Even if the question's technical, there's a human element to how you answer. That troubleshooting example. Don't just list the steps, talk about staying calm under pressure. Taking initiative, communicating clearly to get things back online fast.
Telling the story behind the action. The why behind the what.
Exactly. Even when you talk about operating machinery, mention your dedication to preventive maintenance, showing you're proactive, keeping things running smoothly, or safety protocols, how vigilant you are, not just for yourself, but for the whole crew.
Which reminds me another question from RoleCatcher. Describe your experience operating heavy machinery. Sounds straightforward. Deceptively so.
Could be. But it's your chance to show both the technical side and your safety mindset. Don't just list machines like a grocery list. Which models, what projects, and emphasize those safety procedures you never skip.
2 birds, 1 stone. Gotta love that. It's about making the most of every answer to show what you bring to the table.
100%. Now here's one that might surprise folks. How do you maintain productivity in a tough environment? Dusty, noisy.
Because let's be real, a mine site isn't exactly known for its peace and quiet.
Exactly, and that's what they're getting at. Can you focus? Get the job done amidst all that. Are you phased?
So, good answer. What are they listening for?
Adaptability, resilience, resourcefulness. Do you use noise-canceling headphones? Take breaks strategically. Maybe you focus on one task at a time, minimize errors, whatever works for you.
And tie it back to safety again. Always wearing your PPE, ear protection included. Cuts down on distractions, protects your health long term.
Exactly, that safety angle. Got to keep it front and center throughout the whole interview. Okay, let's tackle one that trips people up. How do you handle equipment malfunctions or breakdowns? Pressure time.
Because it's going to happen eventually, right? Things break.
Of course. They want to know you can think on your feet, keep your cool, but also find that safe and effective solution. Again, have that anecdote ready.
And if you've used RoleCatcher's Copilot feature to practice, even better.
Huge help. That AI feedback is gold. Refine your answers, make sure you're hitting the right notes, like having an edge.
Speaking of edges, a question that can sound intimidating. Describe your experience with drilling and blasting techniques. Very specific.
It is, and it highlights something. Not all surface miner roles are the same. Some, yeah, drilling and blasting. Others, totally different focus.
So what if you haven't actually done that type of work?
Honesty is best. If you don't know, say so. But don't leave it at that. Pivot to something related you do know.
Example, give me something concrete.
While I haven't personally done the drilling and blasting, I'm well versed in the safety protocols around it and eager to learn those techniques. Something like that.
Shows you're not afraid of new things and you want to expand your skill set. Good attitude.
Exactly. And it shows you get that mining's a team effort. You're not expected to be an expert in everything, but you're willing to learn from those who are.
Makes sense. Okay, one more that really gets at those people skills. Describe a time you had to give feedback to a coworker. Ooh, that can be tough.
The art of constructive criticism, right. But this shows you can communicate clearly, handle those interpersonal dynamics, and you're contributing to a good team environment. All important.
Being a good teammate, even when it's hard.
Exactly. Focus on what they did, not who they are. And keep it positive. You messed up helps no one. I noticed this could be improved. Any suggestions is better.
Instead of tearing down, you're building up.
And always have specific examples ready. Don't just make vague statements.
It's a huge difference. Okay, we've covered a lot on the questions themselves. What about the rest of it? Resumes, cover letters.
Just as crucial. And RoleCatcher's got tools for that too. Their AI resume builder is fantastic. It analyzes your resume against the job description, suggesting improvements to make you stand out.
Like having a resume expert on call 247.
Exactly. And we'll get into resumes and cover letters in depth later, but let's switch gears a bit. Career progression. A lot of people starting as surface miners, they want to move up. What are the paths, and how does this interview set them up for that? Excellent question. Mining's got a lot of directions you can go, even from entry level. RoleCatcher's Guide talks about this. One common move is into supervision, leading a team, overseeing part of the operation.
So if you see yourself as a leader down the line, plant that seed in the interview.
Exactly. Talk about any experience training or mentoring others if you've delegated tasks well. Those communication skills matter for leadership, and it's not just people management. As you gain experience, you might specialize. Blasting, drilling, equipment operation, you name it. Right qualifications, you could even get into the more technical side, mine planning, engineering.
Wow, so many options. How do you even figure out what's the best fit for you, your strengths?
RoleCatcher to the rescue again. They have this career compass tool. Explore different paths, see the skills and experience needed for each. Like a roadmap for your career. Pretty cool.
Sounds like RoleCatcher really is a gold mine of resources, if you'll pardon the pun.
It really is. And don't be shy about your ambitions. When they ask about your long-term goals, be honest. Tell them you want to grow with the company.
Shows you're invested in their future, too, not just looking for a job.
For sure. And speaking of investing, let's circle back to learning. Mining's always changing. New tech, safety regs get updated. Gotta keep up.
How do you do that? What's the best way to stay ahead of the game?
Never stop learning. Industry conferences, workshops, certifications, even online courses, whatever works for you.
And don't be shy about mentioning that in the interview.
Absolutely. Recent training certs you're working on shows you're serious about growth, passionate about staying current.
Shows you invest in yourself. Always attractive.
100%. And speaking of putting your best foot forward, remember, body language matters. Eye contact, good posture, try to relax.
A genuine smile goes a long way, too.
Big time. Warmth, approachability, enthusiasm. Interviewers love that.
Okay, before we move on to crafting that killer resume and cover letter in the next part, let's address the elephant in the room. Or, well, the AI in the room, I guess you could say.
Automation. You're talking about automation and how it's shaking things up in the mining industry.
Exactly. Lots of talk about it, some excited, some worried about their jobs.
Makes sense. And it's something interviewers are thinking about, too. Truth is, automation is changing the game, just like in other fields. But it's not about replacing people entirely.
That's a relief to hear.
In many ways, it's making mining safer, more efficient, more sustainable. Lets us handle the stuff that's dangerous, repetitive, frees up people for the tasks that need that human touch.
So not robots taking over, more like humans and robots working together.
Bingo. And this is where those uniquely human skills we keep mentioning, critical thinking, problem solving, adapting, communicating, teamwork, that stuff's going to be in high demand as things evolve.
So how do you sell that in an interview?
Frame your skills to show you can work with technology. Instead of just listing machines you've run, talk about troubleshooting them, adapting to new software, collaborating with the tech folks.
Show them you're not intimidated by tech, you embrace it.
Exactly. And if you've got experience with specific automation used in mining, definitely highlight that. It means you're ahead of the curve.
Love it. Now, before we wrap up this section.
Oh, hold on. Almost forgot we've got time for one more question. This one often pops up near the end. Do you have any questions for me?
Oh, that's a great one. Having some thoughtful questions ready is so important. Shows you're engaged and paying attention.
Right. Now is your chance to dig deeper. Company culture, the specifics of the role, the team you'd be working with.
Don't be afraid to think outside the box a little. Maybe you read something interesting about their sustainability efforts, new tech they're using. Ask about it.
For sure. Shows you've done your homework. And one last tip. Always end by saying how excited you are about the role and thank them for their time. Common courtesy, but it matters.
Gratitude goes a long way.
It really does.
All right, ready to tackle those resumes and cover letters?
Bring it on. All right, so resumes. Your golden ticket, right? It's got to be sharp, to the point, grab their attention. Think of those hiring managers. They're wading through piles of these things.
No long stories about every load of dirt you've moved then.
Definitely not. You get like 5 seconds to make an impression. Got to make those key skills jump off the page.
So how do we do that? Give us the secrets.
Tailor, tailor, tailor. Can't stress that enough. RoleCatcher is big on this. Don't just have one generic resume you're sending to every mine from here to Timbuktu.
Wrong tool for the job.
Exactly. Read that job description carefully. What are they looking for? Highlight those skills on your resume.
Show them you've done your homework. You're the one they've been waiting for. This is where RoleCatcher's AI Resume Builder comes in handy, right?
Game changer. Seriously. Upload the job description. The AI compares it to your resume. Tells you what needs work, what keywords to sprinkle in. Even helps you quantify your accomplishments.
Quantifying. See, now that's where I get lost. In mining, what does that even mean?
Numbers. Data. Instead of just operated heavy machinery, try safely operated and maintained 5 excavators, resulted in a 15% increase in daily ore extraction.
Ah, so you're not just saying what you did, you're showing the impact.
You got it. And
Yeah.
use those strong verbs. Managed, optimized, implemented, stuff like that. Makes it dynamic, shows you take initiative.
Okay, so what about cover letters? Those still matter in the age of, all this technology. Yeah.
100%. Resume is the snapshot, cover letters where you connect, your personality, your passion for this industry, why this job gets you fired up.
So not just a formality. You're telling your story.
Exactly. Address the hiring manager by name if you can, shows you've done your research.
Like showing up on site and already knowing the foreman's name, good first
I
impression.
know it. Then boom, first paragraph, what job, where you saw it, get to the point.
No rambling, time is money.
Absolutely. Next couple of paragraphs. Use real examples to highlight a couple key skills or experiences, why you're the perfect fit, and weave in those soft skills.
Teamwork, communication, all that good stuff that makes a team run smoothly.
You got it. And a good story can really make you memorable. Think about a time you solved a tough problem on the job. What'd you do? What was the outcome?
Bring those resume bullet points to life a little bit.
Exactly. Last paragraph, reiterate your enthusiasm, why you want this job, this company, eager to learn, contribute, end on a high note.
Leave them wanting more. Okay, before we move on to some of RoleCatcher's amazing tips for navigating your mining career, there's one thing I think we got to address.
You're reading my mind, automation.
Big topic. Some folks are excited about the possibilities. Others are worried about their jobs, understandably.
Valid concern, and interviewers are thinking about it too. Here's the thing. It's changing the game, just like everywhere else. But it doesn't mean the end of human workers. Not at all.
So not robots taking over the mines completely.
Nope. In a lot of ways, it's making mining safer, more efficient, better for the environment even. Machines can handle the really dangerous stuff, the repetitive tasks. Frees up people for things that need that human touch.
Evolution, not extinction, right? Humans and tech working together.
100%. And that's where those human skills we keep talking about are more important than ever. As tech takes over the routine stuff, employers want people who can think critically, solve problems, communicate clearly, work as a team. Those are the things robots can't replicate.
So you got to adapt, right? Show them you're an asset in this new world of mining.
That's it. And this is something RoleCatcher actually dives into in their career guides. How automation is changing the game, what it means for surface miners, all of that.
And speaking of which, let's jump into that. How RoleCatcher can help you navigate your entire mining career.
Their career compass tool. Absolute must-have. It's like having a personalized roadmap for your career.
Guides you toward the job you'll love, that you can be successful in.
Exactly. But it goes beyond just job titles. Salary info, company reviews, interview tips, all tailored to the mining industry.
Like having a personal career coach, always there to answer your questions, point you in the right direction.
That's the idea. And what I love is that they're always staying up to date. New trends, new tech, best practices, it's all there.
So whether you're just starting out or you've been at it a while and you're ready for the next level, RoleCatcher's got your back.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's an essential tool for anyone serious about a good career in mining. Now, ready for some bonus tips on those interview questions? How to really knock it out of the park.
Hit me with your best shot. I know our listeners are hungry for knowledge. All right, fire away. Hit us with those bonus tips to really nail those interview questions.
Remember we were talking about behavioral questions, the tell me about a time ones? Those can feel tricky, but they're your chance to shine, to really show what you can do, not just say it.
Because anyone can say they're a problem solver, right? Proving it is different.
100%. And the mistake people make is trying to memorize answers. You end up sounding like a robot, not genuine.
Like those automated mining machines we were talking about. Efficient, but missing that human touch.
Right. Don't memorize, understand. If it's a teamwork question, think back to when you had to really rely on your team. Jot down some notes of the situation, what you did, how it turned out. Not word for word, just the key points.
You're building a toolbox of experiences you can pull from them naturally in the moment.
Exactly. Oh, and this is important. Don't be afraid to pause. If you need a second to gather your thoughts, take it. A good answer after a short pause is way better than something rushed and half-baked.
Shows you're thinking it through, not just spitting out the first thing that comes to mind. And attention to detail, that's crucial in mining.
You got it. Okay, a couple more specific ones. Salary expectations. Always comes up. Can be a bit awkward, but don't let it throw you.
Yeah, you don't want to sell yourself short, but also don't want to price yourself out.
RoleCatcher's got your back. Use their salary insights. See what others in your area with your experience are making. Go in informed.
Love it. What about those curveball questions, the ones that seem totally random, got nothing to do with the job?
Those are fun. Honestly, it's usually less about the answer, more about how you handle it, your thought process, creativity, how quick you are on your feet.
So if they're like, if you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be? They don't actually care about your tree knowledge.
Probably not. It's the approach, you know? Don't be afraid to have a little fun with it. Show some personality.
And there's no right answer, right? It's about how you handle it.
Exactly. All right, any final thoughts on prepping for that surface miner interview?
Send our listeners off with some words of wisdom. Help them dig up those job offers.
Mining, it's all about preparation, right? Being precise, staying safe. Same goes for job hunting. Do your research, practice how you'll answer those questions. And most importantly, believe in yourself. You got this.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And hey, don't forget, RoleCatcher's there every step of the way. Interview prep, career advice, all of it. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and best of luck out there.